how many four-letter words can I use on that?
Don't get taken down. Figure it out. Like, find a way to not get taken down, even if there's a minute left.
Oh, Nick, I'm a top guy, so I love top wrestling.
We have an amazing culture within our program, and we build it. We don't buy it. We build it.
So I think that wrestling is the greatest sport on earth.
What's going on, everybody? On3 Wrestling is back. Little solo show today, and we have to talk about Final X. So we're just going to jump right into it. Long weekend, long day. It was nice to actually get back into the arena and get there in person, see this stuff up close. Actually, this is my first event that I covered on the senior level in person. Otherwise, it's always been remote coverage for me at On3 or in any other capacity. So this was really, really cool. Final X, great event. Men and women, some great matches, some great moments. We're just going to go down the list right here, see, recap what we saw, what this means going forward. And, this wasn't dominated by one regional training center. It was multiple RTCs being represented on the men and women's side. It was awesome to see new blood. When you look at the world teams and the Olympic teams over the last, 10 years, we've seen a lot of the same faces. So there's some fresh dudes and at these weights. And of course, we're going to cut down to 6 as we always do for the Olympics, and we'll see how that shakes out with guys moving up and down weights. But it was nice to see some new blood in there for sure. So not going to waste any time. We'll go right into the men's side of things. Spencer Lee gets the sweep over Luke Lildahl. Of course, Luke Lildahl coming off a great season at Penn State. Young buck, Spencer Lee, the veteran, as he called himself, the old guy. He wins this one 2 matches to none, 7-2, 6-0. Interesting, though, because he was pretty mad after. It seemed like he was pretty mad. He's very, very disappointed in his own performance when it came to how he wrestled, essentially. And, from afar, you're like, well, you really didn't wrestle bad. You put up 7 points, you put up 6 points. And then he was actually asked about that in his post-match presser, and he goes, yeah, but I didn't score anything in the second period. He was mad that he didn't keep his foot on the gas pedal and that he was very robotic in his wrestling. And he kind of harkened back to that. He always says that he's going to put on a show. He's going to score a lot of points. He's going to be very dominant. He's going to really do what he wants to do to dictate all these wrestling matches. And sure enough, he didn't do that, yet he still won. I think it just goes to show you how good he is. He's coming off a silver medal in the Olympics last year in Paris. Do things change if he won the gold medal last year? Does he wrestle freer, or does he feel the pressure that he needs to win all these gold medals now leading up through this next Olympic cycle through 2028 in LA? Maybe so, but his comments afterwards were, I would say, certainly telling. And I guess I'll just let you hear them for yourself.
Because they should have called me for passivity in both matches. I didn't do literally anything in both second periods. Got a lead, didn't do anything. Pretty bad showing for someone who I keep preaching that I score points and that I don't score points. So maybe I should stop preaching it because I'm not doing it. So
you got to score some points in the first period, and you put on
both first periods. Cool.
Yeah.
How many in the second period?
Sure. I mean, obviously not what you wanted, but we got the points that you did score were fun.
Sure, they're all right. A turn, 2 turns, both matches, and a 2-pointer in both matches. Same thing. Basically the same match that happened twice in a row. So, yeah, real fun, I'm sure.
You think about it, this is your first senior world team. I know we joked about that yesterday.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm excited. This is a cool event. I was very happy with the fan turnout. I'm very appreciative of the fans. I'm sorry, I a little hot-headed a little bit, so I wanted to stop and do everything with all the guys who wanted pictures and autographs and everything. I got drug testing after this, but I would love to, grab some of the people I missed. I apologize. Thanks for supporting USA Wrestling. Please come to all our events, all Final X. We need all we can get. Freestyle is much less popular than college because colleges have, whole fan base behind them, whether you're a wrestling fan or not. You're a, Iowa, Penn State. That was Iowa versus Penn State right there, So maybe a lot of fans were like for those kind of things, and those are great, but we need more of that, and I'm glad that the Prudential Center looks pretty full, and I'm very, very, very pleased by that.
Thoughts on Zagreb yet? Have you thought ahead about Wolves?
Yeah, and I wrestle like that, maybe I don't win. So I think there's improvement always to be had. I know I'm tough on myself. Yes, the guy wrestles a multiple-time world champion. He's going to be tough. He's a great wrestler. He's a really nice kid. I have nothing against Luke. Like I said, if anything, I'd rather apologize. I think me and him could do more to be entertaining. He's got a lot of pop and athleticism, wrestling before the Olympics last year at the train center before we wrestled, before I made a team and everything. I remember telling him high school must be boring for you because you're pretty good. And that's true. I'm sure he killed everybody in high school most of the time. So, yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's good. I'm sure he's mad. I mean, I get it. But, we both want to do better. And that's what matters. We're competitive. We want to do the best we can do,
So besides second period,
Yeah. So and we have to look at this, and he is obviously very mad that he didn't wrestle well, but his comments speak for themselves. Hopefully this lights a fire underneath him. I mean, generally we do see Spencer Lee with a fire underneath him, of course. Where this leads in the World Championships, I'm sure he's going to be favored to medal at the very least, if not the gold medal favorite when it comes to these guys going over to Zagreb, Croatia in September. So that's pretty much what happened there with Spencer Lee. Wins in convincing fashion, so to speak. Didn't really allow any points. He outscores Luke Lillidahl 13-2 in 2 matches. Nothing crazy, but very controlling and kind of how you expect this to go. But hey, if he's going to be that hard on himself for winning and being at the top of the weight class domestically, hey, maybe it just pays off for Team USA later this year. So we did not get 61 kilos between Vito and Jax Forrest. That's going to be at Fargo. Of course, Vito requested a delay and was granted. So we'll see how that matchup goes next month to determine that final spot. Real Woods beating Joey McKenna 7-3 and 5-4 at 65 kilos. Great job by Real Woods. Actually, I had McKenna winning this going into the weekend, but Real Woods, man, he's just a grinder and just managed to get, I think it was both matches where he basically had a decisive move right at the end in order to win this series. And then, we're going down weight class order, but the biggest moment of the night had to be PJ Duke. And if it was anything else, I don't think you were watching. PJ Duke, incoming freshman to Penn State at a KD training center, beats Yanni Diakomahalis. Of course, we know him as the 4-time NCAA champion from Cornell. Medals up the wazoo for Yanni on the senior level and all kinds of age groups. And he's just so good. And this was stunning with the way it happened. Now, is it stunning that PJ Duke beat Yanni? I wouldn't say it was stunning that he beat him. It was stunning the way he did it. When you have Yanni beating him 10-0 in the first match, and Duke was giving him good looks, I should say. And Yanni ended up teching him in the first match 10-0. So you're like, okay, maybe second match, Yanni wins a little bit closer. Maybe even Duke forces a match 3. Third match, 17-10. PJ Duke wins, and all of a sudden, and then you knew it changed when he threw him. So he got the 4-point throw, went feet to back behind him, and then immediately gut wrenched him for another 2. So a big 6-point sequence right there. Wins at 17-10, absolutely insane. And then match 3 comes around, and you thought the roof blew off in Newark for match 2. Match 3, he pins him. He pinned him in a little over 3 minutes. It was bonkers. Nobody saw this coming. Yanni, I don't think Yanni's ever been pinned before at any level, maybe, as far as I can remember. And Duke does this, 18 years old, going to Penn State next year, hasn't even wrestled a college match yet, and he's going to represent Team USA on the senior level world team. Absolutely insane stuff. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of more PJ Duke conversation throughout the summer as he starts training more and more with Penn State, leads into his college career as well. And he's just going to be something to really watch for as a true freshman. It's going to be absolutely wild to see how his college career pans out now with already him doing this on the senior level. And I'm rooting for him. I don't know how hard, really hard to keep this momentum going and try to get a gold medal in September. 74 kilos, David Carr over Mitchell Messenbrink. Very, very close series. And Carr was very complimentary of Messenbrink and I guess what they bring out of each other. He wins this one 4-3, 4-4. The last one was on criteria. Messenbrink, the pace, of course, is always unbelievable. And this is coming off Messenbrink beating him earlier this year. Leading into Final X, and people thought maybe Messenbrink is now taking that step above David Carr, but hey, Carr always bounces back off a loss. He credited Jordan Burroughs afterwards in terms of training with him and getting some different looks and just really locking in mentally. David Carr, I'm a huge fan. It was really cool to see him win this, and he had some clutch takedowns, and I think that was pretty much how you're going to describe it, is that he is clutch. So I'll let you hear a couple comments from David Carr afterwards. This is when he's speaking to the media in the tunnel right after his second victory over Mitchell Messenbrink.
Times where watching, nobody knew which way it was going. What do you work on to finish those? Is it just in the room working on finishes?
To my coaches and my family that fun with it. 220 accomplishment, I'm really proud, and so I'm really excited for those things too. It's all just a process, and it's really fun.
What did you talk to your coaches about missing those matches?
We were just relaxing, just talking just normal stuff. Just told me to keep getting to my offense and just stay smart, just wrestle smart.
You've had a lot of history with him before. Have you been getting adjustments coming into today or even after the first match earlier today?
Yeah, I mean, we wrestled a few times, so every match I'm making little adjustments and taking in information, and that's all I'm focused on. I'm not really focused on the win or loss. Just go in there, make the adjustments. How did I do making those adjustments? That's what I'm going to grade myself on and my effort.
Chasing down Mitch's legs, I mean, there were a couple of times where just watching, nobody knew which way it was going. What do you work on to finish those? Is it just in the room working on finishes with everybody?
Yeah, just getting clean finishes. It's going in the room and just playing around. We do a lot of play wrestling, just figuring out those positions.
What do you think about 74 kilos? We've had Jordan and Dake there for a long time, kind of a fresh face. You carried on this legacy of great 74 kilo guys.
Yeah, I think Jordan Burroughs is one of my mentors, a great friend, someone I look up to. And so being able to train with him before this and telling me about the process, telling me about working hard, how to use my hands, it was just unbelievable. His family, Lauren Burroughs, Beacon, everybody, they were so welcoming when I came. I had breakfast with them. We're hanging out. It's just a great environment. I love training with them. And Aussie Academy, I'll definitely be back there training for the World Championship.
So you heard it from him, David Carr training with Jordan Burroughs, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that relationship keeps developing going into the World Championships. As he mentioned, he's going to keep training with them leading up to that. Obviously, David Carr, Iowa State legend, Cyclone Regional Training Center, training with also All I See is Gold Academy. Jordan Burroughs, there's really no better guy to learn from, especially with their similar. It seemed like they have similar styles. I think a lot of people saw that or made those comparisons. If you go back to the 2024 NCAA Finals, where Carr beat Messenbrink on the big stage to close his college career. If you remember that blast double, everyone's like, "Oh, there's the patented JB blast double right there." So the fact that he's getting physical looks and mental looks from Jordan Burroughs leading up to, I think that really has made a big difference in David Carr's wrestling as he's developed on the senior level. So great to see. I loved it. I'm a big fan of David Carr. Hopefully he brings home some gold for Team USA. Right down the list, of course, we had Levi Haynes dominated Evan Wick. So Levi Haynes is going to represent 79 kilos from the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. Zahid Valencia winning 86 kilos. He swept Kyle Dake, and this is after he beat him at the U.S. Open earlier this year. Kyle Dake been one of these guys who's been on the world team for such a long time. Of course, has medals, as I said before, out the wazoo. Of course, Olympic bronze medalist. But Zahid Valencia, it seems like this is time now where Valencia learning under David Taylor at the Cowboy RTC, moving from ASU over to Oklahoma State in his senior level career. So he just looks like the best version of him. He was at 92 kilos just last year, dropped back down to 86. And of course, we saw Dake move up to 86 kilos, up a couple weight classes. But Valencia gets the win, 5-3, 4-1 in his two matches. So he sweeps them. He credited David Taylor just for some certain practice methods and just the new environment. Really challenging himself and getting out of his comfort zone. So it was good to see Valencia just, very stoic afterwards. And this definitely looks like the best version of Zahid Valencia moving forward. Kyle Snyder returned to the mat. Of course, he was arrested the other month, and we all know the Kyle Snyder situation. He obviously is now trying to move past that. However, that affects him moving forward remains to be seen. But he won both his matches over Hayden Zilmer, 8-0 and 8-2. Was not made immediately available for comment afterwards. We were in the tunnel waiting for him, but really no media availability from Kyle Snyder. But hey, He's back on the world team, 97 kilos. And I think, at least from a wrestling standpoint, we are, I would say we are going to not appreciate Kyle Snyder until he's gone and we look back on his career. Maybe we've already gotten to that point where we really do appreciate him as a representative of USA Wrestling at this weight, considering he's been on every single team for the last 10 years. 2015 all the way on, 97 kilos has been Kyle Snyder's spot. It'd be fascinating to see if he can keep this spot all the way through the 2028 Olympics, which I would imagine is going to be his last cycle, but that's just me speculating and my educated guess. But hey, he's still there, still a gold medal threat in every tournament he's in. So Kyle Snyder gets the win there. Wyatt Hendrickson, we saw him beat Gable Steveson, and he's just been on a tear since then. Representing the Cowboy RTC, 10-0 and 20-14 over Trent Hilger. Absolutely wild heavyweight match, by the way. These guys are getting takedowns, reversals, gut wrenches, throws. It was insane. But Wyatt Hendrickson, he said afterwards, he was quoting David Taylor. He was like, "Hey, I need to maintain my baseline defense, and just stick to the basics right here." But hey, he wants to put on a show. He's a showman. Maybe he's Captain America right now, as some people want to call him. But Wyatt Hendrickson, just a great representative of USA Wrestling. Awesome to see. Love what he put on a show. That's exactly what you want to see out of a guy like that. And these aren't your father's heavyweights. So this guy's going to put up points, and you can put up 20 points in a freestyle match. Hey, I'm going to watch you every single time. So fascinating to see him now in his first senior level world team, and he's certainly going to be in contention. It looks like he's the guy moving forward, right? If we're going to talk about the 2028 Olympics in 3 years, who's going to beat Wyatt Hendrickson? Does Gable come back? Probably not. Maybe he does. We didn't think he was going to come back to college, but he did that. So I think Wyatt Hendrickson, inside track to the Olympics in LA in 2028, looking awesome. They're the only best of three that actually win all three matches, as I mentioned before, was Duke and Yanni. Otherwise, I think these guys in each weight certainly convincingly won. I think aside from Carr and Messer brings, those guys are very razor thin close. But hey, you win 2 matches and don't lose. You've definitely earned that spot for sure. On the women's side, just to go through the results, Audrey Jimenez beat Erin Golston in 2 matches. She looked dominant, obviously representing the Lehigh Valley Wrestling Club, or RTC, I should say. And awesome to see was Lehigh now is a Division I women's program, the latest one to get on the map. So Audrey Jimenez representing them quite well. Felicity Taylor won over Brianna Gonzalez. That was a sweep, 2-1 and 6-4. Crystal Rodriguez, Tiger Wrestling Club, that was also a sweep, beating Everest Lidecker 12-8 and 8-5. Helen Maroulis, the queen of women's wrestling, right? She's always on the team. I can't imagine Team USA without Helen on it, representing 57 kilos again. Had 2 pins in 150 and 442 over Amanda Martinez. So she dominated her way to yet another senior level world team. Jakara Winchester getting back on the team with a 2-1 series win over Abigail Nett. Lost the first match 6-4, but won 9-7, then 11-2 in matches 2 and 3. So one of the few third matches at Final X on Saturday. So a nice little bounce back there for Winchester, who's obviously very accomplished and one of the better wrestlers we've seen over the last 5 or so years on the women's side. Adago Nwachuku, I think I just butchered her name, but from the Army WCAP, beat Kayla Miracle. Now, this was a three match series, and this was wild because it was 14-8, lost the second one 4-3, but then won 8-4. So good on her. And Miracle, we know how good she is, but that was tremendous stuff at 62 kilograms. Macy Kilty, Iowa Women's Wrestling Club, back-to-back techs over Ain Drury of the New York Athletic Club. Kennedy Blades, who we've had on this program, she also looked really good, won 10-4, and then beat Brooklyn Hayes in match 2, 5-2. Appeared that she got dinged in the head. I think they both shot it at the same time. I didn't see it in real time, but that's what she said when she was speaking to the media afterwards. A little dazed and confused, but seemed to be all right and gutted out a 5-2 win. So she sweeps her way on to the team at 68 kilos, down 2 weight classes, and she talked about that. You could be sure to check that out. Previous On3 Wrestling podcast episode talked about her weight cut and how she's now solidified at 68 kilos. Best weight for her moving forward, it seems like. So she'll represent the Hawkeye Women's Wrestling Club over in Worlds, and of course, coming back for another collegiate season as well. Alexandria Glaude got the forfeit win over because Amita Lord dropped out of Final X due to health issues. So she's going to be on the team at 72 kilos. It's nice to see that she was able to get, her moment for both matches. I know there were forfeits, but, very happy, got her hand raised. So it's nice to see that, but she'll be on the team at 72 kilos. And then Kylie Welker wraps it up for the Iowa Women's Wrestling Club, a sweep over Diamond Guilford, 2-1 and 9-1. Looked really dominant in match 2. So women are certainly going to be in contention for a lot of medals, probably a lot of gold as well. So eager to see how Worlds play out in Croatia in September. But that'll do it for us, and she'll be back with some more wrestling content over the summer. We'll try to get some people on when we're talking about the senior level stuff, and we'll see if we get some other coaches on as we get closer to the new school year, start getting some summer previews and summer recaps from some of these college programs as well. So be sure to follow me on Twitter. Be sure to follow the podcast on YouTube. Check out our content at on3.com. This is On3 Wrestling. We will see you next time.